We're at the High-End Munich 2023. Terry, next to me, Terry Medalen from Primare. Medalen? That's correct? Okay, I even pronounced it correctly. We had four things we were talking about. The SP25, the SPA25, the new app, Prisma app, and actually new DAC boards. Am I correct?
Exactly, you are correct. You remembered it all.
I remembered it all. That's my job. I only have one job. So
Well, my job is to talk about this stuff, so I guess I should do that. So the SPA25 has already been launched, is out in the field now. It is our 9-channel integrated multi-channel amplifier with 11 channels of processing. DTS, Atmos, has DAC on board for DSP, as well as eARC, and it is designed effectively for both music and movie listening. And so we put in some various features that help to emphasize that, in that it has an adaptive power supply so that whichever channels demand the power, it is delivered to them up to a certain level.
oh, nice. So if you have only two channels driven, you get more power.
Well, to a certain extent, yeah. So even in 2-channel, you have up to 145 watts per channel. So the amplifier is rated at 90 watts, all 9 channels driven. But at any point, if, say, your front, left, center, right in a multi-channel situation demands more power, the power supply is able to deliver that to those channels for 145 watts.
Oh, that's a nice feature. So you have more dynamics.
Yeah, so usually your height speakers are not doing much, and so you can dedicate more power to those main channels. And then similarly, we have a biamp capability. So if your speakers are bi-wireable, you're able to then configure the processor itself so that it delivers those channels to the output stage for bi-amping a pair of left and right speakers. Additionally, the DAC, we have 2 8-channel DACs in there for 16 total channels, and we take 4 of those and dedicate those to the processing of the left and right channels again to emphasize this music listening as well as movie listening experience, being able then to be able to play whatever you want, whenever you want it, without any kind of division of labor or division between the 2 formats.
Sounds awesome. That's the bottom one with a whole lot of connections on there. And this is actually the preamp processor.
Right, and the preamp has essentially the same relative features in the way of processing for DTS:X and Atmos, DAC, eARC, all of those things, but obviously a preamplifier processor. And that becomes the perfect partner then for the A35.8.
We reviewed it a year ago, I think.
Yeah, and thanks for that. And it's really become an incredible product for us because it has so many capabilities in its ability to program those 8 channels or configure those 8 channels to fit virtually any need you might have, either on its own or say with our A35.2 stereo amplifier. And then speaking of stereo products, like that,
Yeah.
is because both the multi-channel processor and the integrated amp, as well as our full stereo line of product, has the Prisma network player functionality built into it. Now, some of the things that we're going to be able to add to that in the future, in June as a matter of fact, is embed the Tidal and Qobuz streaming applications into our Prisma application.
I think a lot of people are wishing for that.
Yeah, well, it will give us a whole kind of different thing because we're able then to play Tidal master files and gapless that we are unable to do with Chromecast, which is our casting partner for that. Qobuz we're able to do 24:192 as well as gapless, that again Chromecast is unable to do, and all those resolutions unable to be accessed with AirPlay.
It is odd that Chromecast couldn't do gapless.
Well, it is, and we kind of thought that there would be an advance in both AirPlay and in Chromecast to incorporate more high-end, high-fidelity components, given how far they went, and especially with the introduction of Apple Music HD. We thought that might be fully articulated, fully realized, and there is still the thought for the future, and we'll still keep those casting services in our platform, but the embedding of the 2 key, at least as far as we understand it, streaming services, Tidal and Qobuz, will be able to be integrated then into that Prisma app, which is something that our customers seem to really like. We may have mentioned at some point in the past about how we integrated a radio function into the Prisma application. Even though we have vTuner and hundreds of other radio stations that can be cast or used AirPlay, having it integrated into the Prisma application just seems to simplify access and allows people to have greater ease in working with their system, which is something that we really support, the idea that every everyone in the household can use the system to.
That's what hi-fi is all about. Everyone needs to use it and needs to be able to use it to have fun.
Exactly. And so we got such positive response from that, it just convinced us then to embed these services into our app, and we believe we'll actually get better performance than with any of the other casting options that might be available. And then finally, the DM36, we have a new DAC module available for our modular products like the Pre-35, the I-35, the I-25. And not only does this use a very sophisticated brand new ESS chip, that ESS chip has MQA processing capabilities, so that will allow us to do a full MQA processing for those modular devices. Now the interesting thing is that with the Prisma application update, we're able to play title master files up to that first unfold. So that'll be true of any of our existing Prisma.
Exactly, it's like built-in title.
Well, exactly, and a free update at that. But for those who want the full MQA experience, then either if they have one of our modular devices, they can easily swap the boards, the DM35 board for the DM36 board, or obviously for someone buying a new product, they'll be able to buy it then with this new board to have full MQA processing.
It's a nice feature, by the way, that you can actually swap out the boards and don't need to buy a completely new preamp. But it's good for e-waste, it's good for the wallet, it's good for your clients because they feel, I think, more respected.
Yeah. Well, and there's also the idea too is that in a lot of cases, many of our customers, whether new or existing, that first unfold from title master files, that first MQA fold, is all they really want or need. And so they then have the option of whether they want to upgrade or not. And so we try to give that capability as much as we can, a flexibility in system matching and component matching, that kind of stuff as much as we can. And obviously with software updating, we have a little bit of greater versatility than we might have had before, which is hardware. So it allows us to do a number of different things. And then finally, which we haven't even talked about, there's 5 things.
I was not sure if I could talk about the 5th one, but
Rune, we will have Rune certification for the Pre-35, SC15, CD35, and CD15 remaining players, stereo products that don't have that certification yet. And then very shortly following on that, it will be for the SPA25 as well as the SP25.
So that's 5 things and not 4, but there was a bonus. And there you go. Thank you for your time and thank you for all the news. There was a lot to talk about, and see you later. Bye-bye.